That's buried there.
After School Detention Show, aka The Life and Times of Mariam Ali. That's a project in conjunction with Time to Talk. Yes, I told you, brand new podcasts, brand new filming. Just look where we are.
Hey, it's coming up, isn't it?
Is it?
Let's get over there.
Yeah.
And let's see what's going on.
You can put the battery.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
Okay.
Easy.
Sorry to stop you for a minute, guys.
No problem.
Sorry to stop you for a minute. So, just introduce yourself.
I thought you'd come to buy some veg.
listen, budgets are tight. So, Where are we first?
We're down Normanton allotment.
Okay.
My name's Mikki.
Okay.
Calvin.
And that's Calvin.
Now, Mikki, we've met before.
Yeah, man.
Okay, and I know you got involved in this through the Time to Talk project, and obviously, if you guys have been watching, you'll see the recent podcast, DP, the man called Dave Powell. So, if I said to you, Mikki, why did you get involved in Time to Talk? What would you say?
I mean, we've all got our own struggles, but I went through addiction, and I've been in recovery for 2 years now.
Okay.
I've had a few slips, but I'm getting there every day. But I joined Time to Talk because I've been through therapy, but I wanted something outside of recovery. I wanted to get back into society properly, you know what I mean? So I've been here 2 years and it's been amazing. So last year we set this project up here, the Time to Talk allotment.
Okay.
So it's coming along.
Well, what we're looking to do, I mean, you mentioned addiction there, and obviously addiction means different things to different people.
Yes.
But already, that's interesting. I'll tell you what then, well, there's a lot to unpack and explore there, but could you start us off by just sort of doing a quick whistle-stop tour in terms of the plot you've got?
Yeah, man.
And what you've got, what you've achieved at the moment?
No problem, yeah. So where do we start? Yeah, with all of this land was up to our knees here.
Okay.
With grass. Me and Calvin dug it off.
Okay.
A few of the lads have been down and helped us as well. So the first thing we planted was onions here.
Okay.
I planted 6 little onions, and within 3 weeks they'd come through, but the birds kept nicking them.
Right.
So we had to put some netting up. But when these started growing big now, we've had no problems. And you can see that down there that it's starting to come that big now. So this is the first produce we've had through.
And how does it feel? How does it feel? I mean, you talked about, you know, the struggles you've had in the past, and obviously we'll get back to that. How does it feel when you first saw the fruits of your labour actually taking fruition? What did it feel like?
It was stressful at the start because of the bloody bird.
Yeah.
But when I seen it all coming through and the different colours and the amount, how sturdy they are, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just from a little seed like that, I felt amazed. It helps me with patience. With addiction, you don't have no patience. You want everything there straight away.
Okay.
But with learning to do this stuff, which I fully advise if anybody's struggling at all, not just addiction, mental health, anything, or you just want to get away for a bit, get in the nature, even your hands through soil, like Calvin said earlier. It just your senses.
I mean, like I say, we'll really dig a bit deeper into your journey through addiction and everything. So, you know, we've got plenty of time for that. How did it feel when you first got involved? Was it a case of, were you confident, or because really you've been doing this kind of journey mainly, you and Calvin, a lot on your own. You talk about addiction. Did that have maybe put barriers up when you first started getting involved?
Not really. I think it was more the stigma that I was sick of, because when you're being in recovery and you're working with all of the recovery people that are addicts themselves, it gets too much and you just want to break out of it and go back to normality. But then you've got that stigma of being an addict and stuff. But that's the only paranoia I had when I first got involved. But once I got past that barrier, the world's my lobster.
And it's interesting you talk about paranoia. That's something else that we'll come back to. Okay, now I noticed when I walked in there was some other produce at the top.
Yeah, let's have a look,
Yeah,
eh?
will you just sort of take us
Well,
up
we've
there?
got taters there. You're not really meant to grow taters in small little bits there, but there's no law. I originally put some potatoes in, but they went rotten. I did them too early,
Okay.
so I just ended up putting them there. Behind Calvin here, I think this is a cherry tree, you know.
Right,
But
okay.
this was already in here. That's a pear tree.
Wow.
So we've got a compost heap over there.
Yeah.
Let's have a look down here.
As we're walking and talking, now this might be a good time just to talk to people about your track, because you're not only someone who's an avid gardener, you've also tapped into music in terms of your therapy. Talk to us a bit about that.
The sweet peas. Yeah, basically, I've been a rapper for like nearly 25 years now.
Okay.
I released a few tracks and stuff and iTunes and that, and didn't really get very far with it. But as an addict, I went into prison for stupid fighting.
How long ago was that?
2015 to 2016.
Okay. Well, what we'll do, Mickey, we'll go right back to the beginning.
Right back.
So just talk to me about the produce here, and then we'll kind of start your journey.
Yeah, so we've got here the not sweet peas. These are courgettes. These are.
Oh, okay.
I think they are. Yeah, they look like it because I think they're starting to grow there. Look, you see the shapes of them.
Yes.
Slowly. My dad said we'd probably get about 200-300 courgettes on that.
Okay.
Just them 4 plants there. These row here is the potatoes, so we've got 8 rows here. They're the ones that I've struggled with the most, because you've got to be consistent. You've got to water them every day.
Yeah.
Even if it's raining and then it stops in the afternoon, I like to come back and do them again.
Right.
So you have to have an hour a day to come and water everything.
Right.
But with the weeds as well, they're in competition with each other. So
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's really hard. So we've got taters over here. I think we've got sweet peas here, but some of them ain't come through. But I think because because I've only just started doing it, I think I was pulling them up, mistaking them for weeds because I didn't know what to look for.
Right.
You know what I mean? That explains the emptiness.
Got you.
Because they are in 4 rows, look, if you can see them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I must have done it. It's the only option. We do have a thing on this allotment called mare's tail.
Right.
Do you want to tell them about mare's tail?
Basically, it's just a weed that you just got to keep at it, pulling them out. And one thing you don't do is get the rotavator and chop it up, because what that does then, it spreads it. It'll make it into small mare's tail, and that will just take over. So basically where you go, you just got to try and get as much as you can get out of things.
It'll turn one mare's tail. If you rotivate it, it will chop it into 4, 5, 6 little bits like that in your hand.
Yeah, got you.
And it'll scatter them, and then they'll regrow. So it's just
did you know that when you first started?
Yeah, they did tell us. You shouldn't burn them because the wind takes the seeds up in the air. I think I've just made that up, but I think it does sound like legit. And you're not meant to burn them, and you're not meant to use rotavators. So you just got to keep pulling them out by hand. It's the only thing you can do to get rid of them. Even if you strim them, I think that it will chop it into. Well, we've got. I don't know if I can reach. Can't reach. We've got tomato plants in there.
Wonderful. So what we're going to do, Mickey, I say that's a nice intro to your project.
Yep.
And what you've grabbed with 2 hands, and you're making a fine job.
Thank you so much, and Calvin and the rest of the lads.
So what we'll do, we'll just start talking about your journey now, okay? And we'll see where that takes us. Brilliant. So, Mickey, take us back to, talk about addiction. So how far back are we going in terms of your age?
Wow. I'm ADHD, so I was on...
when was that diagnosed?
That was 11, so I was on Ritalin.
Through school? Was that diagnosed through school?
Through social services and a therapist, like a proper psychiatrist.
And you're 11?
11, 12, yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking?
No, that's fine.
What made you enter that world in terms of therapy and psychiatrists?
Well, I think my mum used to say that I was like too on the go all the time and not focusing and stuff, which led to me having ADHD.
Yeah.
And then when I got kicked out when I was 16, I stopped taking my medication.
Right. But going back, when were you aware? When did the system tell you you had ADHD?
When I was 11 or 12, in between that time.
So was that through school and saying to your mum, look, there's something?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Did they then throw you down that journey of diagnosis?
Yeah, I went through assessments, and then it turned out your son is ADHD.
Right. Can you remember going back how that made you feel when you? I
can remember I always felt like I was the odd one out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And but my parents used it a lot. Do you know what I mean? But when I started taking medication,
how old are you now?
I am 12.
Okay.
Because they've diagnosed me and then said go on these tablets, and it is Ritalin. And I was on Ritalin.
Yeah.
I remember going to the teachers, but I always thought that it was just a made-up thing that I've got, and I don't know what it is. I never got no help understanding it. Do you know what I mean? So then it led to addiction. You know what I mean?
So, did you go right? What was the gap between starting your ADHD medication?
Yes.
And then when you can remember, you say addiction.
Yeah.
What was the gap?
A lot of trouble at school, fighting and stuff like that.
I mean, you say addiction, what drugs are we talking about?
Well, it started with weed.
So from Ritalin to weed, what's the gap?
3 years.
Right.
3 years, yeah.
So
about 16 when
Still at secondary school?
Still at secondary school. I started smoking weed with the lads at school, and then they all stopped eventually, and then I just carried on and then got into harder drugs.
So you know when you first started getting into that?
Yes.
Would you say, was it you being a follower?
Good question.
You know, was it someone going, listen, Mikki, yeah, and you going, yeah, or was it you thinking, I'm doing it on my own, I'm a leader? Which one was it?
It was more peer pressure.
Right.
But that led me into thinking, oh, this works. It was never, oh, I feel amazing, I feel good. It was, this works, I can focus. Do you know what I mean? That is what it did to me.
Is that the effect it had on you?
That's the effects it has on me, yeah. I can't do nothing, I can't write music or anything. But now I'm in recovery, it's coming back a bit, you know what I mean?
How old are you now?
37, I think. Okay. Yeah, 37.
So we'll go back to 16 then. So 16, I mean, you keep saying addict. So in your head, were you an addict at 16?
I didn't realise until I was 26.
So we've gone from 16, 26. Have you then consistently taken drugs?
So I've took drugs from 12, which was a Ritalin, and then I've took...
And that's interesting how... It's interesting because, and even now, the narrative would be, as a young person, being prescribed ADHD medication, it's not a drug.
No.
But it's interesting you saying that's where I started drugs.
It's got amphetamine in it, and that led on to be my devil. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
I was addicted to amphetamine for nearly 20 years.
Right.
And I got myself into some states with it, hospitalisations, everything, and it was all blocking out the fact of what I went through as a kid. Do you know what I mean?
So
that's a different story.
Okay. Take us from. So we've gone from ADHD diagnosis.
Yep.
Well, actually, before we move on, so from 11, 12 to 16, secondary school, how do you think the school... What school did you go to?
I went to Ferrers in Burton-on-Trent.
Well, I taught at Paget, so I know the
Oh, did you?
Yeah. How, in your opinion, flashing back, looking back, how do you think the school dealt with someone who was diagnosed with ADHD, was on medication? What was your memories of the next 3 years from 12 to 15, 16?
There was a lot of stigma that were by the teachers. They thought I was nuts. I was the problem child.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I was angry. I was fighting a lot. It was just stupid stuff like not going to school, skiving, or not going to assembly and hiding under the stairs, throwing stuff at each other. I was doing so many crazy things, and it was blocking out what had happened to me as a kid. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of physical abuse, and mental manipulation and coerce and control. You know what I mean?
When did you get at the point in your life where you could flash back and say to yourself, that triggered that? When did you start understanding that that was a trigger point?
I only understood that I'd been blocking all that out when I come into recovery 2 years ago.
Really?
Because I blocked it out for 20 years. Even my medication, I self-medicated. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I blocked all of it out, and I never dealt with none of my problems. Got myself into debt, was homeless, prison, and the realization hit me when I stopped taking drugs. It's easy to stop taking drugs. It's building yourself back when you come off it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Take us from, so let's go from 16 then. So did you leave school at 16?
I left school at 15. I got expelled, but I did do my exams and I didn't do too good. But I was working when I was at school, so I was set up. My career was already set up.
Okay, take us from 16 then, when they've kicked you out of school.
Yep.
So your words, I was probably an addict then.
Yeah.
So what did the next, from 16 to 18, what did that look like?
Very, very bad, to be honest. A lot of violence, drinking, a lot of fighting with partners, domestic violence, prison.
Right. What, in them 2 years?
In them 2 years, yeah. I spent a crap load of money. I must have spent 20 grand on drink and cocaine. That's when I first started. But then I become a dad and I calmed down at 20, you know what I mean?
So from 16 to 18, you was taking cocaine as well?
Yeah, and alcohol. Anything I could get my hands on, ecstasy.
And you was angry? You said
I was angry.
You keep coming back to angry.
Yeah.
So now you're saying that now you've processed it, you put that anger back to A, addiction, and B, trauma in the past.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So take us from, so when did you first go to prison?
I went, believe it or not, when I was 16, I stole something, and because I was homeless, I got put into young offenders.
By homeless, do you mean
out
going
on
from
the
different?
Streets. No, out on the streets.
Not going from different sofas.
No, staying on underneath canal bridges.
How old are you
16. Now? Oh no, I was 37. I'm 37 now.
No, but I mean,
37
16,
now. Yeah.
How did it come to the fact that at 16, 17 you was homeless? How did that happen?
Because my mum and stepdad kicked me out when I was 16. I was fishing and they rang me saying don't come back, and I was fishing down a canal.
How old was you?
I was 16, just 16, 2 days after 16th birthday. And then I thought, what am I going to do? And then I went and hid all my fishing stuff in a bush, and I forgot them. They're probably still there to this day. And I was hanging around with people that were influencing me with the drugs, and I just ended up staying on. The first few nights I was in a tent on the back garden that was ripped, and it was raining, it was all coming in.
The back garden?
Of my friends opposite the street.
Right, so you couldn't go back home?
No, they would not let me back home. But I went through this quite a lot. I went to young offenders, that all got sorted. I got like a youth worker.
Go back to when you was homeless, so the first few days you was in a tent to the back of a friend's house?
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
I was just staying like in train stations, underneath canal bridges, in the hospital.
So literally, not sofa surfing, literally nowhere to stay.
Nowhere to go, no food and no medication for my ADHD. So you can imagine I'm withdrawing off Ritalin.
How long did that go on for, where you literally had nowhere?
Wow, I'm getting a bit...
Let's get this right then. So, because I think, I struggle to comprehend this. So you're telling me at 16, you weren't just going from house to house and friends and family, you had no fixed abode at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was living in tents and train stations and underneath canal bridges.